What's up, everybody? Grumpy Old Bear here. Today we're talking about Raid Shadow Legends. Download it for free today. Today we're going to go over some of the news that dropped. Which I mean, if you're following the community or some of the content creators, you know that they're releasing a new fragment event coming up this week with a new patch. They also started the Clan versus Clan tournament at the same time. So just a little pro tip: the Clan versus Clan is for like 2 days. Yeah, I don't know if that's going to line up with when they're releasing this patch or not, um, but hopefully they will. And that's when you start, the fragment event, and you can start, really using your resources then. Right now, it kind of like, you know, roll it back a little bit and wait for that to kick off before you start really going hard and trying to get your clan boosted, that kind of deal. So what are we talking about? They released an announcement saying that they're bringing in 10 new champions to the game, which they usually do when the fragment event, and because of the Shadowkin, they're going to be releasing new champions quite often until pretty much everybody has a chance to grab a good faction team and that kind of stuff like that. So anyway, let's kick it off. We're going to talk about some of the champions that are coming out, and the first one up is for some reason is a epic geomancer, force affinity, attack type dwarves. Um, his A1 attacks all enemies, 30% chance of placing a 50% decreased accuracy debuff for 2 turns. Um, that's not bad, especially like in Doom Tower. So and maybe with the new what do you call it? The new dungeons, sorry, the 21 through 25, that may have pretty much a lot of relevance there. So A2 removes all buffs from the target enemy, then attacks them, steals all buffs instead if the target is under a HP burn, reduces the cooldown of Quicksand Grasp by 2 turns if the target is killed by this skill while under an HP burn. Uh, Debuff placed by this champion. So his Quick Grasp then, basic, fully depletes the target's turn meter, has a 75% chance of placing an HP burn, a 25% weaken debuff on the target for 3 turns. Ascended fully depletes the target's turn meter, fills this champion's turn meter by the amount of the target loses, has a 75% chance of placing an HP burn, and a 25% weaken debuff on the target for 3 turns. Okay, so this A2 um, works in conjunction with the A3, so that's something there. And then he has a passive decreases the damage all allies receive by 15% and deflects that damage onto each enemy under an HP burn debuff placed by this champion. Whenever this champion is attacked, deflects 30% of the damage instead. So is HP burns a single target? It doesn't say anything about attacks all enemies. It just says uh, fully depletes the target's turn meter and has a chance of placing HP burn. So it's not an AoE HP burn. It's a single target. So this Stone Guard is going to take a while to activate on all the team, on all the enemy, but not bad for an epic. Like a lot of turn meter manipulation, which is going to be still relevant. It won't be as powerful in the new dungeons, but it's still relevant in Doom Tower stuff like that. So that's good. And his aura increases all HP in all battles by 25%. So not bad. Roll the Huntsmaster. This is the guy that is going to be the fragment event. Uh, from what I understand, because of his buffs, he's going to work really well with Thea, the Tomb Angel. So if you're hitting hard Doom Tower, uh, and you're trying to get that Thea, or you have her already, uh, you know, he's going to activate her skills. So what does he do then? Attacks one enemy, 50% chance of placing 60% decreased defense debuff for 2 turns. Transfers a random debuff from this champion to the target if the target is under a hex debuff. Attacks all enemies, places an extra hit on enemies under hex, and will ignore 25% of each target's defense if there are 4 more enemies are under a hex debuff. And you can see the cooldowns and the damage and what the books are right here. So not a whole lot of books, really. 2, 4, 6, 7, 9, 11 books for a legendary. That's not bad. And his passive, let's see, decreases the speed of enemies under hex debuffs by 5% and decreases the resistance of those enemies by 10%. Also increases the damage enemies under hex debuffs receive by 10% and decreases the value of heals they receive by 30%. These effects do not stack if there are multiple rules on the same team. Aura increasing ally crit rate and all battles by 20%. That's kind of whatever aura. Um, Usually you're gonna go for like HP, speed, attack, that kind of deal. Crit rate's kind of meh, but the rest of this kit's really good. And then again, if you have Thea or working towards to get Thea, then this guy you want to do the fragment event because they're gonna work really well in conjunction with each other. Helior, another legendary for the Bannerlords. Attacks one enemy, increases this champion's defense by 5%. This attack is critical, stacks up to 20. Will also heal this champion by 75% of their defense after attacking if their defense has already been increased by 20%. Will also heal this champion by 75% of their defense after attacking if their defense has already been increased by 20%. Okay, so once he gets this thing stacked up, then he'll heal himself, but only after it stacks up to 20. Attacks all enemies, places a shield buff on all allies for 2 turns, equal to 20% of the damage inflicted. So I'm seeing this as a pattern now, like with with Miscreated Monster, Brogni, those kind of guys that put a shield out there or increase the shield based on the damage that they're doing. So he's a defense type. If his multipliers are any good, it's better than an HP champion. Because HP champions you can't really boost them too much, maybe with an aura or something like that, but that's pretty much that's kind of all the boost they get. There's no like increased HP buff like there is increased defense and increased attack. So this might be something, if his multipliers are any good, he might be able to hit hard and do some damage there. Let's see, transfers all debuffs from all allies to the target enemy, then attacks that enemy with a default skill, converts this champion's resistance into additional accuracy when using this skill. That's pretty cool. So if you have, let's say 80 resistance, right? And your accuracy is at 250. Well, this is going to convert your resistance into additional accuracy. So you get an additional 80 accuracy if your resistance is at 80 when you use this skill. That's pretty cool. That's a pretty cool mechanic I haven't seen. Whenever an ally has 2 or more debuffs is attacked, whenever an ally that has 2 or more debuffs is attacked, this champion will absorb 30% of the damage inflicted on that ally, and then increase ally resistance in all battles by 60. So that's another thing. That's a good aura in all battles, especially, and it works with his harsh light skill. So that's pretty cool. We have Gorlos, Helmal, Demon Spawn. I'm not going to go through all these guys because there's a lot. Shadowkin, Hotatsu, Leech, decreased attack, attacks all enemies. Oh, this is cool. This is kind of like Jarig's skill here. Places a 60% increased defense buff on all allies and a continuous heal buff on all allies for 1 turn. That's pretty cool. Let's see. Alright, now that's great. So this is a really good skill. It's a passive. Removes 1 random debuff from this champion at the start of each turn. It will remove stun, sleep, freeze, fear, true fear, and provoke debuffs before other debuffs. So he's prioritizing the most powerful debuffs in the game and removing those before anything else. So if you're stunned or frozen or feared, this guy, he can remove that from himself and enable him to start, doing his work. Increase allied defense in all battles by 25%. This is a cool champion. I like this guy. I like that passive a lot. That's great for arena. Um, that's a really good passive there. Channy or yeah, I don't know. Attacks one enemy, has a 40% chance of placing a 25% poison sensitivity. Okay, does she do poison? HP burn. Increase the duration of all debuffs by 1 turn. So she doesn't do poison, but she puts a sensitivity for. So I guess you have to bring someone that does poison in order for this to be relevant at all. She does an HP burn, so that's kind of weird. Yeah, I don't know what to think about this one. Immune to decreased accuracy debuffs, increases this champion's crit rate by 0.05% for every point of accuracy they have. Increases ally accuracy in all battles by 40. So this is cool. This is cool. This is really cool. I don't get this at all. What's the point of that? If she doesn't do poison, why poison sensitivity? Why not like, you know, turn meter or HP burn or something to go in conjunction with the rest of her kit? So that's kind of weird. I do like this increased crit rate, with accuracy. That's pretty cool. Genbo the Dishonored steals any increased attack. Stealing one random debuff. The increased attack buff steal cannot be resisted. Well, that's pretty cool. 80% chance of decreasing the duration of all buffs by 1 turn. This effect cannot be resisted. Attacks all enemies has an 80% chance of decreasing the duration of all buffs. Okay, I read that wrong in my head. 30% increased crit rate, crit damage on this champion for 3 turns, then grants an extra turn. Immune to decreased attack, will ignore unkillable when attacking under an increased attack. Increased ally speed in arena battles by 20%. That's pretty cool. This guy seems like he's specifically coming out there to um, be an arena. Stealing increased attack and then ignoring unkillable. That's pretty cool for those people, that use Skull Crown or the new Swift Parry set, that kind of stuff that places unkillable on them when they get down to low enough HP. This guy will come in and say, no, I'm going to jack your attack and then I'm going to kill you because I can ignore that unkillable. So that's pretty cool. Let's see, Burn Giri. We're going to go with that. Defensive type, places to provoke, that's cool. Attacks all enemies with the stun, goes up to a 40, 50, 60% chance, so not bad. So, you get his accuracy high enough, half the team will be stunned. That's pretty cool. Um, Places a 25% strengthen and the shield buff for 2 turns on allies with less than 50% HP. The shield buff is equal to 15% of the target's max HP. So that's a cool move. But usually you're bringing in attackers or something like that need this, and their HP is usually not that high. So it's not going to give them a great shield, but it'll give them something. That's pretty cool. Passive heals this champion by 50% of their max HP whenever an ally or enemy dies. That's pretty cool. So this guy's taking a beating because of the provoke, maybe. Um, and either an enemy or ally dies, he heals himself by 50%. That's pretty dope. Increase all ally resistance in all battles by 40. Another great aura there for an epic. That's pretty cool. And then we got the rares, let's see, let's read through it real quick, see if there's anybody worth it. Uh, that's not bad. Provoke, HP champion. That's not bad. So again, this is not bad. It's a rare, um, but I like the turn meter of all odds by 15%, and it gives you a little bit of boost of damage. So it's not bad. The rares this time around aren't too terrible. Are they worth keeping instead of some of the epics or something like that? Not really. But if you're building a Shadowkin faction, keep the rares. You never know uh, how far you can get with some rares. And this is a pretty good skill to fill turn meter and stuff like that. So those are the new champions, guys. And you know, again, Rule is going to activate Thea, so we're going to have something there. And yeah, that's pretty much it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We just went over the Plarium announcement, the new champions, new fragment event coming out. Rule the Huntsmaster. Sorry about to say Huntsman. Rule the Huntsmaster, activating Thea, Tomb Angel from Doom Tower, and hopefully he's worth it. He looks like it is. A couple of cool looking champions coming out. Some not so much. Some pretty cool. But that's what we have. And if you got Thea, definitely go for the Fragment Collection. I'm almost there with Thea, so hopefully here, when I get this Fragment event done, then I'll be able to summon Thea and have these two work as a pairing and do some damage. And yeah, so hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm Grumpy Old Bear signing off. Y'all have a good one. Take care.